my dear friends, this is Anna Bruno coming to you from Yerevan, Armenia, from the offices of Thrive Armenian Foundation. I'm so excited. I have our guest again visiting us and joining us for a very interesting conversation, Miss Marie Gazazian. And today's topic is going to be all about networking. So Marie, welcome.
Thank you, Anna.
And let's talk about networking.
Let's talk about networking. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for giving this great opportunity to talk about networking, because it's something so important for all of us nowadays.
Well, for people who don't recognize or really understand the meaning of networking, let's start there. What is networking?
Well, that's a very good question. What is networking, right? I mean, I think for everyone, they have their own idea of what networking is. But for me, networking is basically meeting new people, not necessarily with an idea that you're going to get something out of it. I think that's very important. But just meeting people who maybe have the same goals or even not, who simply knowing professionals in different areas of life and so on and so forth. I think that's what networking is, just basically meeting new people from all over the place.
So that was very interesting. So people would say, why should I care about networking? Why should I network? What do you say to that?
Well, Anna, I think that everybody has a different reason as to why they network. Some people have very specific goals. For example, they do it for their own business. Others do it because they are in a certain environment where they want to promote people, and so on and so forth. The reason can be very different. And then there are people who also network just for the sake of learning more and seeing what's out there. What do people do? And just out of curiosity. And I think that's a very good reason to network in general, because like this you get to meet people who do all sorts of interesting things, and you never know what you will learn, and at the end of the day that's.
And I would also say that in certain situations with certain jobs, it's almost like a given that if you're in a certain career or certain type of an environment, it's almost like a given that the part of your work should be networking. Networking should be part of it. For example, I can tell you as a financial planner, when I first started in a business, I didn't know a lot of people, and I was a financial consultant. So basically, they train you as a financial consultant, and then they tell you, go ahead and find clients. In my industry, it was very important to learn how to network, and also to also reap the benefits of networking. And for example, for me, for many years, probably for almost 10 years, I was part of BNI, a business international group, and we would meet every morning, every Thursday morning at 7 a.m. So I would have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to get ready to go to, before I started my day, I would go for a networking
like a breakfast brunch,
it was
right?
a breakfast. And the idea was, again, like you said, to not only get to know each other, but also help each other and promote each other.
Well, speaking of that, that is one of the benefits of networking. What do you think are some of the other benefits of networking?
For me, part of networking is to be a connector, because to me, when you give out good, the universe gives good back to you.
Yes.
So
that is a fantastic thing to say. Like many people think about networking for their own good, or like I should go and network just so that I can find people for myself. But let's not forget the part that being the connector, as you said, or just helping out other people is a very important aspect of networking.
So let's talk about do's and don'ts of networking. Let's talk about like do's and don'ts, like certain things that. Like, for example, I have my own pet peeves, but I'm going to hold off. I'm going to let you go first, and I'm going to tell you my pet peeves.
Okay. Well, I hope that I don't repeat some of the
ones
that you say. If I do, let me know.
Even if you do, it's fine.
Okay. Well, okay, let's imagine we are at a networking event, right? And let's imagine I am somebody super shy, and I'm at an event where there's so many people, and I know no one, and I'm all alone, right? What do I do? So I've been to places like this, and like my first networking events were when I lived in Paris, and I spoke French very not so good, especially like professionally. Definitely I wasn't there. And for me, that was an extra barrier that I had to overcome, and not worry so much about my language. Other people could worry about something else. We all have our own insecurities and problems, and my number one advice would be to just not care so much, because we shouldn't forget that everybody in that room is somewhat uncomfortable. I mean, not everybody is super comfortable with networking or like with talking with so many. Not everybody's an extrovert, so to speak, right? So many introverts are at networking events, and we should never forget that. And a simple hello is a good start. As soon as you make an eye contact with someone, at least give a smile or say hello, my name is, here's where I come from, and stuff like that, small basic things that you can start off with. If you're in an event where everybody cares about the same thing, you can ask questions. Like, go to a networking event prepared. Go with like some questions you could ask. If you're somebody who's not very comfortable in general, have some questions in mind. Also, have a story about yourself, but not a very long one. Not like you don't want to take all the space.
Are you talking about the
Like,
elevator speech?
Not exactly. Like, for example, somebody asks you, like, for example, well, how did you come here, you know, and you don't want to tell them your whole life story. You want to say a few things. So if you're somebody who's not comfortable with networking, have that prepared so that when you're standing there and somebody puts you on the spot, you don't go on, you know, because when we're uncomfortable, we tend to do things that we wouldn't do if we were comfortable. So be prepared.
That's absolutely correct, and I would say, especially for people who are not extroverts, right?
Yes.
Who tend to be shy, you know, I think it's important they learn, or we all learn how to do small talk.